84. So if this is what God is revealing through Moses in Psalm 90:10, then that would make Israel 84 years old at the return of her king. What significance is Israel being 84 at the return of Jesus? There's so much here. Jacob, which is Israel, was 77 years old when he came into Haran and he first saw his bride, Rachel, the one that he wanted to marry. And he worked for 7 years to marry her. And and he worked for 7 years to marry her, making him 84. Now Jacob was tricked by Laban and he married Leah first, her older sister. He married her first. And then 1 week later, he got to marry Rachel with the promise that he would continue working for another 7 years. But he got Leah 1 week before Rachel. What is left of Daniel's 70 weeks? 1 week. Again, I think this is another typology that just screams rapture, pre-tribulation rapture. Because he couldn't just, oh, okay, well, I'll work 7 years for Rachel too. He had to finish the marriage week for Leah before he could marry Rachel. Jesus is going to finish his marriage week with us, the bride, the 7 years, 1 week. He's going to give us our week before he marries Israel when he comes back. And so, oh, it's just so cool. So cool. And I was talking to Michelle. Michelle made me a wonderful lunch today. Thank you, Michelle. And so I was talking to Michelle today, and we were talking about provoking Israel to jealousy and when that will, as a nation, corporately happen. And when you think about this, do you think maybe Rachel was a little bit jealous that here Jacob, the one that had been working all this time, loved her, that here her sister got to marry him first? I think she was jealous. And what do you think when we're raptured and the remnant of Israel, they're blinded in part until the fullness of the Gentiles come in, until we go. And then the scales start to fall from their eyes and they start to realize their king, their God, their husband married the church first. I think that's going to be provoking them to jealousy, just like a couple weeks ago we talked about how God said, you provoked to Israel, you provoked me to jealousy with gods that are not even a God. I'm going to provoke you to jealousy with a foolish nation. And, Moses is the one that God gave that message through. And then Paul reminded us of that and said, again, our job is to provoke Israel to jealousy, just like he told them through Moses when they had done the golden calf. So it's just so cool how all of this is coming together. So 77, when he came in and he married at 84. He married her at 84 and he married Leah first, and she had the week, her marriage week. And then another 84 is Anna. We see Anna, who was waiting for Jesus. She's one of the few. Because remember, they should have known Jesus. They should have understood it was the time of their visitation. They should have known the first time, just as we right now should know the second time. They should have known that it was time for Jesus. And there was just a handful that did. And Anna was one in the temple that knew. Anna was 84 years old when she saw Jesus. And she had, and it says here in Luke 2, 36 through 37, she had lived with her husband for 7 years. Again, we see the seven after her marriage, and then was a widow until she was 84. So we see again this picture of married for seven, and now this is an 84 year old widow in the house of God, waiting to see the face of her king. And then Luke 2:38, coming forward at that moment, this is Anna, gave thanks to God and spoke about the child to all who were waiting for the redemption of Jerusalem. And here we're waiting for our redemption of our bodies. And at 84, Israel be waiting for the redemption of all of Jerusalem again when Jesus comes back at just the last moment and saves all of Israel alive at that time. So here we see in both of these involving marriage, we see the 84 and the 7. 84 and sevens in both of these pictures. And so there's more with 84, and these are more still kind of more on the surface things. Aaron was 84 years old when Israel kept their first Passover at Sinai. So the very first Passover, of course, is when they left Egypt. But the first Passover, where they did it all in one place after God had given them the full feast of the Lord and the full pitcher and the full tabernacle, Aaron was 84 years old. The high priest was 84, guiding Israel into the feast of the Lord. Psalm 84 is one of the 11 psalms in the Bible created by the sons of Korah, which were known for ones to discern the time. And it longs for the time when they can be in the Lord's presence at his temple. And, I love this here, 84:7. They go from strength to strength till each appears before God in Zion, in Jerusalem. So the Hebrew word palal is found 84 times in the Old Testament, and it means to intervene, to pray, to intercede for someone. And this is interesting, noting that when Jesus returns, he's going to separate the sheep from the goats based on how they treated Israel. Based on how they treated his people, Israel, they're going to be dividing the sheep from the goats. And here we see this used as the man of God interceding for others. We see here in Genesis 2:27, now therefore restore the man Abraham to his wife, for he's a prophet, and he shall pray. This is God speaking. He shall pray, or palal, that intervene for you, that you will live. And if you restore her not, then you know that you will die, you and all that belong to you. So this was God speaking to the Pharaoh, that Abraham would pray and he would intercede for him, and then his people would be able to live after they had taken Sarah. And then here, Deuteronomy 9:26, I, Moses, prayed, palal, therefore unto the Lord, and said, O Lord God, destroy not thy people and thy inheritance, which you have redeemed through your greatness. And here you see Moses interceding for Israel and praying for them and intervening for mercy. And so it's interesting that that is 84, and it's tied here to when God comes back to save Israel, and now he's going to judge all the nations and all the people and separate them out. So also, because 77 is a big part of this, because 77 is the start, and then there are 7 years. So in Israel being 77 right now, the Greek word, and I'm not even going to try to pronounce this. I just can't even try to pronounce that, but it's found 77 times in the New Testament, and it means gospel. So this is really cool. Matthew 4:23, and Jesus went about all of Galilee, teaching in their synagogues and preaching the gospel of the kingdom and healing all manner of sickness and manner of disease among the people. And so here we see preaching of the gospel, and that's 77 times in the New Testament. And then Matthew 24:1, and this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached to all the world for a witness unto all the nations, and then shall come the end. And so we see this eternal gospel that's preached, Jesus alone. That's the eternal gospel for all time, is trusting in God, trusting in faith in God alone. It's Abraham was accounted, righteousness was accounted to him because he believed God. Same is true for us. We believe God and righteousness is accredited to us. And so, looking at this final thought here, you know, we're we're about to be born. We've got a birthday. We talked about this a few weeks ago. We've got a birthday and a wedding coming up. It's both ours. We're going to be born right on our wedding day, right in time for our wedding. So a mom doesn't know the exact day or hour of her baby's arrival. She knows about the time. She's got a due date, but that's just a guess. She doesn't know the exact time of her baby's arrival, but when she knows, though, when the baby's coming, she knows when it's soon. And that's how we feel right now. We may not know exactly when this is going to happen, but we know it's coming soon. All the pieces are coming together. The the timelines are coming together. The pieces of the puzzle are coming together. The birth pains are getting closer and closer. It's all coming to a peak. And there's a lot of excitement over these increasing birth pains. They're bittersweet. The biblical events we're seeing the Bible happen. We're seeing a red heifer sacrificed, guys. We're seeing signs go up all over Jerusalem pointing to the temple. It's not even built yet. The Temple Institute is saying that they want to have the temple started by the end of 2025. They want to start building the temple. Things are happening so quick. We have technology that they're saying we're going to do away with your phones because you won't need your phones because it's going to be on you or in you. The beast system is moving so quickly, and now the whole world is turning against Israel and wanting her to divide her land and, most importantly, divide Jerusalem. All this is coming to a head right now. And so, we are in the final generation. We're in the fig tree generation. And when we look at Psalm 90 and we see all the evidence we just went into today, this is extremely encouraging. And so I think it's time to look up. And that means not just stand outside with your eye to the sky, although we've had some beautiful clouds. So thinking, oh, that'd just be awesome if Jesus just peeled that back right now. But it means keep your focus on Jesus. It means look to him instead of all the craziness around the world. Don't get caught up in all the distractions because the enemy is working on his distractions. The enemy is working on his game plan for after we're gone. So don't get caught up in his game plan for after we're gone. We're excited about seeing Jesus face to face now. So our redemption is drawing so close, so near. Get encouraged, get in God's word. And time is short, so spread the gospel. That's our job. Our job is not to spread any political cause or thing. That's all a distraction. It's all just to get in the way of the gospel. Our job is to tell people about Jesus and to warn them that there is an end time, that they don't have forever to be playing around. And so pray for those that you love, get the gospel out there, and be encouraged because we're going to see our King very soon. And so God bless you guys. I hope you are encouraged, and God willing, I'll see you next week.